Get ready for Tuesdays with Tiffany Lewis. Tune in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to be the change. Only on Clearsource Radio, where we inspire people soul to soul. Only on Clearsource Radio.
Hey guys. Hi everyone. This is Tiffany H. Lewis on Clearsource Radio, also on iHeart and Spotify. So we are going to dive right into it. I hope everyone is having a great day and a great week so far, and more importantly, a great new year so far. We're already halfway through it, and I can't believe how fast it's going, but it is. So we've got a couple of topics that I'd like to discuss with you tonight. The first one that I think I'm going to, like I said, dive right into with you, it is AMSR. And so now AMSR and ASMR are sort of related, but they are not the same thing. So let me read you the literal definition. So ASMR is a new thing that has become very trendy in 2019 and probably even in the last year, probably in 2018. So let me give you an example and then I'll explain it a little bit further. So check this out. So this would be an example of ASMR, and it has to be satisfying. It has to be like really satisfying, and it has to be strange and kind of odd, but strangely and oddly satisfying. So here's an example. All right, here comes another example. All right, so some examples that I cannot make with my voice, finger, or microphone are cutting soap or glitter. You could put a bunch of glue and a bunch of glitter together and just kind of squeeze it and mash it. The balls that you squeeze one end and like this big bubble comes out the other end of it. It's not always shaped as a ball, but you get the point. All of these things, you know, very specifically, like my personal favorite is cutting soap, a very decorative soap. And so let me try to demonstrate what that sounds like. And if you want, just go on YouTube and look up ASMR cutting soap. Okay? So check that out, and you're going to see lots of pages called Very Satisfying Post. Here are a couple more examples, and I'm going to try to get one that sounds at least slightly like cutting soap. So I've got scissors in my hand, right? Okay, let's pretend I have soap in my hand. Strangely satisfying, isn't it? Some other examples include okay, so they can't be annoying noises. You can't cut up a credit card. It has to be a bar of soap because a bar of soap has a texture to it that is unique to only a bar of soap. And I have found that the most interesting ones are the prettiest bars of soap, the ones that are shaped like snowmen or maybe even particular colors that one may be attracted to or whatever. Anyway, the idea of ASMR is it's extremely relaxing. It's strangely, oddly, ironically sort of relaxing. So you're having a bad day, get on the internet, get on YouTube and look up AMSR videos. When you figure out which ones you like, whether it be squeezing slime or playing with Play-Doh, but in a squeezing, so it's satisfying. So you have to squeeze it until it comes out of every single one of your fingers, whether it be sludge or slime or mud or cake or glue or whatever it is. Some other examples include putting glitter glue all over your hands and peeling it off. So the idea is relaxation techniques. Now, this is good for you, this is good for me, and this is good for all of our kids. So if your child is kind of having a moment where they may be sort of hyperactive or something like that, turn on ASMR satisfying videos. Or yourself, you're having a bad day at work, you've got a few seconds to spare, get on your phone and type in ASMR videos. The cutting of the soap, I don't know what it is about it, but that's the one that I am most drawn to. And you're going to have your own preference. It may be glitter glue, it may be slime. So basically, you make the slime with glitter and glue or whatever ingredients you use to make the slime with, and you put your hand in the bowl and you dig a big, huge handful of it, and you slowly pull it out, and you're like stretching it and stretching it, and you don't let go, and the video ends there. Extremely satisfying. Don't confuse it for annoying noises like throwing a rock or, I don't even want to say it, but fingernails down on a chalkboard or something like that. Only relaxing, meditative kind of noises that they make count as ASMR. Hang on one second. I want to make sure that you hear the music because I'm playing a particular set of music for you guys tonight, and it is to improve concentration and focus, and these are known as binaural beats. So I can hear it in the background, which means whether you can literally hear it all the way or not, you are going to get the effects of it, and during the entire time of this show, for the whole duration of this show, and probably for a while afterwards, you have been subconsciously listening to, concentration, binaural beats that are calming. They're going to help you focus. They're going to help you concentrate. And you're going to come out of this like, wow, I feel so focused. I'm going to get something done because it was subconscious. It's not loud enough for you to, jam out to it. It's just loud enough for you to hear my words. And more importantly, you can tune me out and just listen to the beats. Binaural beats, guys. That's another thing. All right, so that is ASMR. Now I'm going to mix up the letters a little bit for you and put AMSR, right? So AMSR, let me find the definition, because when you try to Google it, it gets the two confused, which is kind of odd because so ASMR is equivalent to a definition. It is an autonomous sensory meridian response, okay? Particularly probably to a noise. Now, ASMR, I have not looked up what that acronym or those letters mean, but I guarantee you it's got something to do with ASMR. So ASMR equals autonomous sensory meridian response. And what that means is It is an autonomous sensory meridian response, which is an experience characterized by a static-like or tingling sensation on the skin that typically begins on the scalp and moves all the way down to the neck and the upper spine. It has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia and may overlap with frisson. So this is a good response from your brain. You see something, you hear something, it's basically going to give you feel good from head to toe, but not in a chills kind of way, in a satisfying kind of way. And I know I've already overused the word satisfying at least 5 times at this point in the conversation, but it is what it is. It is oddly satisfying. Now, if you were to just Google or type in or do an internet search for oddly satisfying videos, you're going to see people sticking their hands in bowls of glue and slowly lifting their hands out of the glue and watching it drip off of them. Even better, glue with glitter in it. So you can see the sparkles, sort of like a glitter jar. So that's what an autonomous sensory meridian response is. It is a response to, per se, watching one of these videos or creating your own experience, like whether you make slime or you cut a bar of soap or whatever you choose to do, and however you choose to do it. Look up some prime examples of that. And then that is the response that your body's going to have. Your brain is going to literally respond to that with the tingling from the top of your head down your spine. It's going to relax you. It's going to improve your memory. It's going to decrease your anxiety. It's going to completely help you and make you relax. And the weird part about it is because it's oddly satisfying, sometimes it makes you angry if they do it too slow or too fast. And again, there's only a few methods for me that work. One of them is cutting soap, and the other one, obviously is glitter bursting. But I don't get to see it coming, or it doesn't have the same response. So blowing up a balloon, for instance, that may be oddly satisfying for you, but not for me, unless you blew up the balloon and it had glitter in it, and the glitter was swirling or dancing around somehow in a manner that would not normally happen every day, something that you can't experience every single day. So that's probably not even possible, but those are mine, and that's how you do it. Okay, so that's ASMR explained and AMSR. So that I haven't confused you too much at this point in the show, because I literally dove right into it while playing, concentrating focal binaural beats. Let me check the volume on that. I might turn that up just a touch for you. Hang on one second. I am going to turn that up just a touch. There you go. I'll stay very close to the mic so that you get all the benefits of hearing the music and listening to what I'm trying to explain without getting confused. I'm going to help improve you on a level of relaxation, concentration, focus, energy. It's Tuesday. Everybody hates Mondays, but, Monday through Friday. And it doesn't really matter what day of the week or what week or whatever. It's just, we just got through the holidays. We had, a 10, 14-day break. We come back. We have to go back to work for 5 days, which, I'm kind of laughing at the point of how silly that sounds, that anyone that would complain about that, because just be grateful that you even have a job. But that aside, we've got things like AMSR and ASMR to help us obtain a feeling and gain satisfaction just from a noise or a feeling or a vision, something that we see, something that we stick our hands into and touch and squeeze and let go of, or maybe we squeeze glue into a bowl, squeeze it into our fingers, shake glitter all over it, let it dry, peel the glue off of our fingers, right? It's all ASMR stuff. And it is very, very, very rewarding, very relaxing. And I can't believe I didn't discover it sooner. But, all right, there's your 15-minute conversation on that. And there's a good chance that I'll come back to that. But I want to point out before I move in that it actually affects your brain and your brain waves and the messages that it sends to your body when you watch one of these videos, like cutting soap, for example. It literally stimulates this response from your brain that sends messages to the rest of your body, and it tells it, you know, sort of, okay, let me try to explain this in a way that makes a little bit more sense, because I know I'm probably being confusing. So, fingernails down a chalkboard. You see how I can't even say that without cringing? This is the literal opposite of that. It's AMSR. It's ASMR. It is quite literally the opposite of the effect that you get from hearing fingernails down a chalkboard. Okay, so you just thought about it, you just envisioned it in your head, and you're cringing now just like I am. Now let's scoot on over to AMSR and ASMR. I'm going to stick my hands in a bowl of glue. I'm going to put multicolored glitters in it. I'm going to stick my hands way down in the bottom of the bowl of glue, and I'm going to lift them up slowly out of the bowl of glue with glitter and just let it drip down until the glue dries onto my hands completely. And then I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to slowly peel off one piece of glue at a time from my wrist to my fingertips, from the front to the back, all the way back around. That's one technique. Secondly, I could just grab a bar of soap and a paring knife and slice a bar of soap in a manner that isn't fast, it's not chopping, and it's not little slices. It's sort of like taking a carrot and a potato peeler and starting at the base of the carrot and peeling all the way to the tip of the carrot. So it's a slow, continual motion from beginning to end. Now that's where the satisfying part comes in. You're watching it happen from beginning to end. Now, some people prefer other methods where somebody has taken a bar of soap in a particular color, say purple, blue, turquoise, all the calming colors, you know, or that remind them of something, or whatever their favorite color is. And they take that bar of soap and they use, say, a toothpick to draw lines in it, straight up and down, up and down, up and down, left to right, left to right, left to right. So you're drawing a bunch of squares, basically. Or, even better, use a pair of scissors to do that. Or a razor, a knife, a box cutter. I'm sorry, not a knife, because that's probably not safe. But anyway, and then when you go to peel the bar of soap with that paring knife, it comes off in like little bitty squares that just kind of fall all over. Or maybe you want to stick your hands in a bowl of Jell-O and do nothing with it. Just stick your hands in a bowl of Jell-O and squeeze it through your fingertips. So, all right. So what it does is it creates this response in your brain that your body naturally responds to. So if your body is going to respond to it, and my body is going to respond to it, our children's bodies are going to respond to it. And this is a great way to help children who really need a little bit of a natural boost of not just energy, but relaxation, focus, concentration. And it's satisfying, but it is the strangest satisfaction. It's like, I don't even know like how to put it. It's not like carving a turkey satisfying, like, oh, thank God we finally have finished carving the turkey, I'm ready to eat, let's go. It's like And it doesn't even make you wait for it. It's like, here is a purple bar of soap that someone has pre-cut these little designs so that when I take my paring knife and I cut it from top to bottom or from left to right, off comes all these little baby tiny squares, and they just kind of fall all over. Or I stick my hand in a bowl of glue and I squish it with my hands. I play with it like Play-Doh. And then what if I just took it a step further and let it dry? That's all I'm saying. It stimulates this response in your brain and in your body, and you will be oddly satisfied for sure. And there are multiple ways, like I said, multiple methods that people use, but some of the most popular ones are bars of soap, carving a bar of soap, or the glitter glue, or the slime. They seem to me to be the most satisfying ones. So, essentially, ASMR, which is the autonomous sensory response to the AMSR, which is the act of the cutting of something, the squeezing of something, the squishing of something, which is the act of completing whatever it is that created this response. So the ASMR is the response, and the AMSR is what's creating the sensation to create the response. Hopefully that made sense. So it's an experience, and like I said, it's a tingling, it's a static-like tingling, but more than that, it kind of affects your frontal lobe. And I don't know how much you know about your frontal lobe, but your frontal lobe is the part of your brain that makes decisions. Yes, no, good, bad, rational, irrational, whatever. The part of your brain that gets affected by those who, use drugs or alcohol, that's the first thing that you lose is control. Well, control is a bad choice of words, but access to your complete and full frontal lobe. So you are not able to make good or bad decisions. So by watching some of these videos on YouTube, you can increase productivity, you can concentrate better, you can focus more, and your frontal lobe is able to decipher that it's a good decision to watch this. Watch them cut one slice of that piece of soap. You can't stop watching it mid-slice of a piece of the bar of the soap. Like, you have to watch it through. You have to. You can't just watch someone stick their hands in a glob of slime and not squeeze it with their fingers and it come through every single one of their little fingers and fingernails. I don't know why, but you just can't. And if you can, hey, more power to you, but you're not going to get the same response if you don't follow it through. So you follow it through, and it basically creates a euphoria, right? It's characterized by a combination of positive feelings and a distinct tingling sensation of the skin, but also in your brain, in your frontal lobe, the fact that you watched it through to the end. And these videos are only 5, 4, 3, 2 seconds long, but it's completion. You stick your hands in the bowl of whatever, you squeeze it through your fingers and watch it drip down your fingers and back into the bowl or all over the counter or wherever it went. And upon completion, you peel the glue off. You squeeze the ball so that big bubble comes out the other side. You pop something so that glitter spews everywhere. Whatever it is, you have completed, you have watched the completion or have created, an object or whatever creation you would like to make. Even if it's just taking a bar of soap and a paring knife, you have completed the task just by going from top to bottom of the little bar of soap, just by cutting just one little slice, but you have to complete the slice. Therefore, at the end of that slice, you have completed your task, and now you have been stimulated. So, it says here that as the experience begins on the scalp and moves down to the back of the neck and the upper spine, it has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia and may overlap frisson. So frisson is like aesthetic chills, like, well, I can't say that on the radio. Musical chills. You hear a song that you like, you hear or feel something that you like that gives you the chills in a very euphoric manner, positively stimulating a pleasure, a positively balanced, affective state, a transient paresthesia, a tingling, a chill, sometimes goosebumps, sometimes, pupil dilation. This sensation that I am referring to, it commonly occurs, either mildly or moderately, but it's pleasurable emotional response to something. And its response is shown through your skin or your body or even through your brain via your frontal lobe. Because once you've completed the thing that's caused this extremely euphoric sensation in your body, on your body, and in your mind, you're like, yeah, I feel so, satisfied and gratified, and it's almost a little bit angry. You watch that piece of soap being sliced and you're like, I don't even know how to explain it, guys. Just watch the videos. ASMR, AMSR. Okay, so again, one is the sensation of it happening, and the other is the actual videos of something happening that creates the sensation known as AMSR. That's the response. So, the fact that it creates pupil dilation, or there's a psychological component, is what I'm trying to say. It's so pleasurable, and it's so physiological. Its components are so physiological. It's like an anesthesia. It's like a reward system, which is exactly what your frontal lobe does. Yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong. So your reward is watch somebody cut a piece of soap or do it yourself with a paring knife very carefully. Obviously, I can't encourage anybody to use any knives here, but just watch the video and you have completed the rewarding yourself process by following it all the way to the end. So 10-second video, somebody comes on and they're like, right? Or let me see if I can make some noises with my microphone and be like, okay, there's one. All right, 2. Okay. The sound of cutting a box open. But being able to see it, you have to be able to see it too. So you know that the box was cut open. I didn't just make that noise up, but that actually happened, or I actually cut the soap or stuck my hands in whatever. And anyway, it creates this serious response and reward system, and it appeals to the sympathetic nervous system respectively, and it's the stimuli that produces the response, and each production of stimuli to every single individual that watches these videos and finds the one that they like, the responses are unique to the individual. Okay, so there you go. That's my first 29 minutes of the show, and I think I've done a good job of explaining every aspect of that and what that's about, what the hype is all about. There's even some funny videos about it. Ellen DeGeneres recently made a little segment that you can probably find on YouTube about, what is ASMR and what is AMSR and what does it mean and what's the hype about cutting a bar of soap. And she makes a joke out of it, but it's extremely satisfying. And the reason why I can't stop saying satisfying enough is because you watch something happen from beginning to end that wouldn't normally happen. And it is such a distraction from your everyday life. It's not like when you pick up your cup of coffee and you take a sip of it and you swallow the sip of your drink of your coffee with the coffee cup in your hand, and then you sit the cup back down. See, now that is the act of doing something from beginning to end, but it doesn't create a euphoric feeling. because you do it all the time, because we need coffee to wake up, right? So this is specifically for, I would say, people that need to relax. If you're having a bad day, you're in a bad mood, something bad is happening, just get on the internet and, look up some of these videos. Check out harmonies, check out modulations. There are various types of music, sort of like the one I'm playing in the background. This is royalty-free, euphoric yet concentrating focal music, like I've said multiple times at this point. And it has to consist of a strong correlation with frisson. Okay? So when it creates this strong correlation with frisson, and I'll give you the definition of that in just a second, is sort of like an opioid effect, like an opiate effect, sort of like drugs, except you're not doing anything wrong. You're just watching a video that's creating a reward system, clearly using your, stimulating parts of your body, specifically your central nervous system and also your frontal lobe, and it is rewarding you. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but it will when you watch one of these videos. So I don't know. I wanted to tell you guys about that tonight. So, any opioid antagonist could block frisson from, say, music. So you don't have to listen to the music. You could focus on my voice. You could focus on the music and not listen to my voice. But basically that's what frisson is. And what it does is it creates an emotional response. So the cause for the frisson is the emotional contagion, which proposes that perceived emotional intensity prompts frisson in a similar way to how perceived sad ballad can allow a listener to feel sad. So if you hear a sad music, right, you hear a sad song, that creates a frisson emotionally, right? And it lets you feel sad. You are empathetic. You are kind of sympathetic, but you feel just like with music, you feel it. When people ask me the question, what kind of music do you like? My answer is always the kind of music that you can feel. If I can't feel it, you're not, it to me is not something I'm going to listen to. I don't do radio channels or whatnot. I'll flip the station a few times and then just turn it off and turn on something that I've got in my playlist on YouTube or whatnot. But so that's the emotional part of it. That's the neural part of it. That's what it means. That's frisson is the action of the chills, the skin, and the psychological response to rewarding auditory and sensory and positively balanced affective state, to include dilated pupils perhaps. So there you go. That's what frisson is. That's what auditory sensory response is. And then ASMR is exactly the videos that you watch that create all of that to happen. And it's a perfect combination. You take the definition of AMSR, you take the videos of ASMR, you add in frisson. Now that I've just explained to you what that means, you take all three factors into consideration, and it's sort of like a dopamine hit, if you think about it. You know how people are addicted to the internet and or social media? Well, it's kind of like that. It's like an opiate hit. It's like a dopamine hit. It's sort of affecting the same part of your brain, except, again, the difference between this and drugs and this and Facebook and Twitter and social media is that this is satisfying. You watch it from beginning to end. If I were to peel a potato from the top to the bottom and then let go of the piece that I just peeled off and sit the potato and the knife down, or the potato peeler, it's done. It's completed. you don't remain addicted to it. So again, it cures anxiety. It cures, I would probably go ahead and say at this point that I'm sure it could help cure addiction. Okay, maybe even, I might even go so far as to say maybe it would help cure addictions such as smoking and or drugs if used properly. And that's as much as I'm going to get into that, on that version of it or that way of it. And now I'm going to completely change it up on you guys. And thank you for bearing with me for what may have came across as sort of a ramble between three different things, which I don't think was a ramble, but you know, that's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide. And as always, I like to thank you guys right now for listening to Be the Change with Tiffany H. Lewis. And you know, it's Tuesday night. It's not Monday. It's not Friday. I've got some awesome things I want to share with you guys. I thank you guys for being loyal listeners. This will be on iHeart here in just a couple of hours, and I hope that this can help people. I mean, really, let's relax. Let's calm our nerves. Let's reward our brain and our brain system and our frontal lobe and our reward system and our entire nervous system and body and soul just by watching somebody cut a piece of soap off of a bar of soap. That's it. Really. I think I just cured drugs, or the addiction part of it. All right, so like I said a second ago, I'm going to completely switch it up. A complete switch in direction. Give me just 1 second. Let me take a drink. I'm sorry, my contacts are bothering too. My eyes are driving me nuts right now, but that's cool. So I'm drinking a cup of coffee, and you know how some people would be like, that would be AMSR, ASMR. It'd be like, thanks for sharing that with me, but you know, the person who did it, they completed the task. You took the drink, you enjoyed it, and you... which I personally find extremely annoying, but, you know, it's not about me. This is just about an act or an action of doing something to completion and then being completely gratified of it. So, speaking of gratification and completion, I now am going to attempt to tell you, okay, I'm gonna attempt to tell you a dozen ways that you can make $100 a day cash every day right now. Okay? I don't know if I'm going to get to a dozen, but I'll get to as many as I can, and I'll go into and elaborate on every single one of these. What do I call them? They're not ideas. These are real things. These are things that I do every day. For instance, rideshare, Uber. You can be an Uber driver, right? You can make as much as you want. You can make your own schedule. You get paid per trip. You literally get paid to drive your car around and pick up person from destination A and take them to destination B, or from destination B to destination C, or you could stop and pick up other people along the way, and you can ride share, or you can, you know, use your own personal vehicle and not work for a company such as Uber or Lyft, and you could do a rideshare program. So $5 a person a week. We all work together in the same office. You know, 7 people. That's $35 extra a day, you know, per trip, there and back, right, to work and back. So there's a couple of examples of that. You know, cars. Rideshare. Rideshare is a thing. So where we're headed in the world is we're headed in a greener direction, a more green direction than we're already in. We want to decongest the roads. We want to sort of try to eliminate as much traffic as possible. So what we do is we provide, you know, as a city, as a state, as a nation, other means of transportation so as not to clog up the busiest times, that rush hour traffic. We want to do away with that. So we've come up with all these clever options to either ride share or I'll get into some of the other options here in just a minute, to decongest. And, here where I live in Austin, Texas, here in the United States, every road around here has a lane all the way to the right of it where it's specifically only for buses or bikes or scooters or, whatever. It's their own lane. So you don't have to stay behind a bus that's going 4 miles an hour, even in a non-school zone, and wait for them, because they stopped for 10 minutes at the railroad tracks or whatever the situation may be. You don't have to do that. They have their own lane here. Another thing, there's smart cars. You don't have a car. You don't want to pay the price for a rental car. You just walk up to a company called Car2Go with the number 2 in the middle, Car2Go. And you register for it online with your smartphone. Then you walk up to the car with your, debit or credit card that you've linked with your account online, and you just kind of tap it on the door on the little scanner thing. It scans it, and it just opens the door, and you just drive. And for a set amount of change, because we're not even talking dollars, we're talking change at this point, 15 cents a minute, $1 a minute, $3 for the whole day, whatever. We're talking change. You can do that, and you can use that as a rideshare program too. So if it costs you $5 to go pick up a Car2Go, and then when you're done with it, let's say you pick up a couple people and you guys all drive to work, and then you just leave it outside your work, as long as that spot says Car2Go. And they're getting more flexible with where you can drop off or deliver or leave the car, so that the next person who wants that car, it's no longer in your hands unless you've paid for it for the day or however Car2Go actually works. But a person can just walk up and swipe their card, and as long as you're not registered to be using it at the moment and you haven't held it captive basically till 5 or 6 p.m., then anyone can just walk up to it and swipe their own credit card and begin their own ride or ride share program. All right, so I think I've already named a couple: Uber, Lyft, Car2Go. All right, those are your cars. There's another car that I'm going to bring up that isn't really available yet. I actually just got an email about it this morning. It's called a Lime Pod. So I'm going to go into Bird and Lime. Okay, so Uber and Lyft put their money together a little bit and invested in these electric scooters and electric bicycles, and now even an electric Lime Pod, which I don't have much information on other than it looks exactly like a Car2Go. It's a 2-door hatchback, one of those little, that you see in every single clown movie where a whole bunch of clowns come out of a little 2-door hatchback, but whatever, Lime Pod. Okay, so you pick it up from wherever you see it. You scan it with your phone on your smartphone, right, because you already have installed the app, and then you walk up to the said Lime or Bird or Car2Go, and you just scan it with your phone, and then you just rent it for $1 to start it, and then 15 cents a minute after that. Or if you're on a budget or you qualify for, let's say, food stamps or Medicaid or something like that, you get it for half the price. You get it for 50 cents to start the scooter or the car or the Bird or whatever, and then 7 cents a minute every minute thereafter. So it's super cheap. Okay, basically you can ride around on a hoverboard or a scooter or an electric bicycle, which is a bicycle sort of like those old school beach nut bicycles. It has a little basket in the front of it, kind of like, remember the 70s sort of bikes. If you just Google it if you don't know it or remember it. I don't remember it. I was barely born in the 70s, but it's got a little basket on it. Anyway, you use these machines, these electric scooters, and you A, get paid to charge them, B, you get to ride them around while you're on the clock collecting other scooters to bring home and charge them. They send you the chargers, and then you plug them in for like an hour, and then you charge them, and then you release them into a nest or a hub. Some of the words that they use. I don't know if I've talked about this yet, but Bird, for example. Again, Uber and Lyft came together and created, I do believe that they created Bird together. And then Uber or Lyft, whichever one, went off on their own and created Lime. Lime and Bird are the same thing, except Bird pays you $3 to... okay, let me slow this down a minute. Bird pays you $3 per electric scooter, and all you have to do is plug it in and charge it. Okay, so your earning amount is limitless. Now, Lime pays you $5 minimum to pick up a Lime and to take it home and to charge it. Put it inside of your vehicle, drive it home, charge it, plug it in, and release it. And I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs and yeses and nos and pros and cons of Bird or Lime. I'm just going to say that they're both electric scooters. Both of them will pay you to go pick them up off the side of the road, charge them, and put them back on the side of the road so that people can pay $1 and then 15 cents a minute, or if they qualify, 50 cents to start the scooter, and then 7 cents a minute after that to ride the scooter around all day. Now, if you're smart, you'd use the scooter that you've charged and you would deliver groceries to it, right? You go down to the local store and you get on with a place like Uber Eats. So somebody orders a 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola. That's it. That's all they want. We're not talking about going to restaurants or anything like that. We're talking about, a little bitty gas station, and they just want one thing, one Twinkie, one candy bar, one lighter, one water, a specific kind of water, one coconut water, okay, whatever. So you have picked up and scanned your Lime or Bird, your electric scooter. Now, you're not getting charged anything for it. You're a charger. So whatever percentage of the battery that's available on it, say 84%, well, that's how much of the battery that you have to use. So a smart person would take that Lime and or Bird down to the market, which there's only about 2 very specific stores in my area alone, 2 little like gas station type stores, little bitty stores, and you can order, like I said, a soda, whatever, a candy bar, a loaf of bread, diapers. You need something really quick and you don't want to go get it yourself. You're lazy. It's 2 seconds from your house, but whatever. So I get on a Bird or a Lime that I have scanned and I have already applied and got hired on to be a charger for. So I got $5 to pick up the Bird or the Lime, the electric scooter, and now I'm going to go down there and pick up your order using one of my other apps like Uber Eats or Favor or Postmates or Amazon, whatever they call, Amazon Pantry actually is what that one's called. Okay, so there's a number of them for each one. You've got your electric vehicles, you've got your electric scooters, you've got your electric bicycles that have a basket in the front of them so that you can place your groceries in them, and all of them, except for the cars, are basically being used to go pick up something from, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, little bitty grocery store that's a convenience store. It's not an actual grocery store. It's a convenience store on the corner of the road. Okay, and they usually don't even sell, as far as I know, they don't even sell gasoline there. So we're talking about a loaf of bread or something that, oh man, I forgot to get that at the store or whatever. All right, so I'm trying to hurry up because I've only got a few minutes left with you guys, but the cars and the rideshare program is a way to make extra money just by driving your coworkers to work. If it was $5, if you chose to charge them $5 a day, 7 coworkers, there's $35. Probably cost you $5 to rent the car. You're up $30 on each way, on each round. So that would be, $60 a day, one way there and one way back. And you all ride share, and you're not congesting traffic as much because you are sharing the road. You are being green. You're being, green friendly and you're making 7 less cars on the road or 6 less cars on the road. Plus, it's only a little 2-door hatchback. All right, so there's one way. Another way, like I said, you can use the bicycles, and they're electric. So you want to sign up to be an electric charger. So you're walking down the street, you see one of these bicycles or these scooters, and you scan it because you've got the app on your phone. And then you scan it, and it says, dun, 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 you've earned $5 for collecting this scooter, or it goes up to 20, but I'm just generically picking a number here. So let's just say $5. And then you get a notification from one of your other apps like Uber Eats or Amazon Prime Pantry or whatever, and it tells you to go down to, First Street grocery store, which is not an actual grocery store. It's a little corner store, and it says, oh, like, man, I really am craving an apple, so please bring me an apple. And it's all right there. It's all within walking distance. It's all within riding a bike distance. And by the way, these scooters and the bikes, they go over 20 miles an hour, so they're pretty awesome. And they have handlebars on them, so you can hang the bag on it, right? And just obviously be careful with perishables, but and the bikes have baskets on them. And now the great thing about those 4 solutions that I just gave you right there that could help you make $100 a day right there with just those 4 simple things. Okay, now you add to them by adding on the food delivery or the product delivery of a little thing from one of the 3 or 4 grocery stores that are part of this going green solution to our major problems in our cities as far as congestion is concerned. So you get money to pick up the bike or the scooter or the car, then you charge your coworkers or friends to drive them wherever. It's just like Uber, or you just become an Uber driver, or ride, Lyft, whatever, whoever you want to choose. And then on top of that, you're smart enough to stop and pick up some groceries on the way home at First Street Grocery, and you just earned an additional $20 just for doing that. And it was on your way. You've got a few passengers in your car. Nobody minds because it's all right there. And no matter which order you do it in, as long as you get each one done on time and you're really nice to people and you have, great products in your vehicle, such as here's a bottle of water, here's what kind of charger do you need, or whatever. It's all about hospitality, basically. So that's how you make $100+ a day. I just gave you at least 7 different ways of how to do it. It's a combination of all the things, all those companies, and you sign up with each one, you register, you become a driver, you become a charger, after you have picked up, harvested, or collected the chargeable device, be it a scooter or a bicycle, you then use that because it's got, let's say, 84% battery on it. Then you use that to go down to the store, whose app you also have on your phone, and you pick up a $9 delivery, and that's before a tip, and you get paid a certain amount just to pick it up, and then you make whatever the tip is on top of that, and it's all within literally a mile of your house. So you could do this all day. But anyway, I'm running out of time with you guys. I said I would give you at least half a dozen ways. Let me just throw in a couple more, and these are all legitimate ways. Some of these I actually personally do myself. The money is redonkulous, and I know that's not a real word, but that's exactly why I used it. It's ridiculously, overwhelmingly awesome, okay? But keep in mind, once people catch on to these little, hacks, tricks in life, they become a little bit violent. They become sort of aggressive. People start fighting over these little birds or limes or electric scooters or cars or whatever because they want to make the money first. So first come, first serve. Keep an eye out for that. That's never fun, but it happened with one particular company who I'm not going to blast. It happened daily with one particular company that I no longer work for. But here's a couple more real quick. All right. You can literally get paid to take surveys. So you can literally go on the internet and go into a site called Inbox Dollars, right? All one word. And all you have to do is fill out some surveys, answer a poll, or search the web and see whatever they ask you to do. Basically, you're at home, you're on your computer, and you're taking a survey, and you're going to get paid $10. There's that one. Moving on to the next. Okay? Or sometimes you can watch like a cooking show or something entertaining and then answer 3 questions or just hypothetically 3 or 4 questions based on that. Now that's how they get their, feedback, their reviews, their customer feedback. How did that make you feel? How did whatever, you get the point. And you get paid for that too. And with every single one of these companies that I'm referring to right now, there's always a sign-up bonus. You could get like up to $1,000 just for signing up with Uber right this second in life, like right now. And then be a driver. But the greatest part is you're a 1099 contractor. So you work when you want. When you don't want, you just turn the app off or go offline. Getting away from vehicles and electric scooters and driving for a minute. Like I said, every one of them, they have bonuses. They have certain hours of the day where you make more money than others. You can take surveys. You can watch a TV show and give feedback on it. You can get paid to leave reviews, literally. And I mean, how long does it take to make a review on someone's page? 10 seconds? This company is great, quote unquote. That's it. You just made $5. Do that, 30 times a day, and that's $120 a dollar. $120. Well, whatever. It was $150. I'm sorry. I'm tired. My decrease anxiety. AMSR, ASMR, whatever. Okay, it's working on me, and I'm tired, and I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so there you go. Answer some surveys. That one is called Inbox Dollars. All right, it's totally legit. There's nothing on this list that I'm going to tell you about that I don't personally do myself or haven't done personally by myself in the last 30 days of my life. I have had to try them all out. All right, there's another really cool one, right? This is Uber or Lyft. You're going to get a $300 bonus or a $1,000 sign-on bonus to drive your car around. You're just making extra money. You just pick somebody up and you take them from the airport to wherever, or from point A to point B. The end. That's it. It's really just that eligible. I mean, that easy. To be eligible, you only have to be 21 years old to have a car to drive and 3 years of driving experience, a driver's license, clean record, etc., etc., etc. All right, so that's Uber, that's Lyft. Let me see. There was another one I was going to tell you about. And these are all ways to make money really fast. I mean, you get paid for the trip whether the person is there or not, whether you deliver a product or not. You picked it up, you spent your time in your vehicle, and you're a 1099 contractor. So whatever you do and however you choose to do it, remember, you're getting paid either way. Okay, it's not like the customer is always right anymore. It's you're in control of the situation. You chose to go online. You chose to do that. You chose to be smart enough to make an extra couple $100 in cash every single day. That is literally deposited into your bank account every single day, or onto a prepaid card that they mail you every single day. That's it. That's all I have time for, you guys. There's one more I want to bring up. You can host your car, and you can host your like a spare bedroom, Airbnb. I want to bring that one up real quick. You have a spare bedroom, clean it out, put a nice bedroom set in there, or just make it kind of sort of comfortable, and charge somebody who's been displaced from a hurricane or a drifter who's coming through town. And remember that these companies, especially Airbnb, which is AIRB, the letter N, the letter B, they run background checks on these people and they pay for them up front. So whatever you decide to charge for that room per night, you are now competing with every hotel in town. So a smart person would charge $35 a night. and they tip you on top of that. It's your choice if you want to make them breakfast or coffee or not. So there you go. There's at least, as I promised, a half a dozen ways to make $100 right now, today, tonight, and every day thereafter. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show tonight. Love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week. And thank you so much for tuning in to Be the Change here with Tiffany H. Lewis, signing out. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you or a loved one feeling suicidal, depressed, or suffering alone in silence? Do you feel like no one will listen to you or help you? Let us help you get the support you deserve today. Help is just a click away. Visit www.pensforpals.org. Don't suffer anymore.
Are you ready to be inspired? Are you ready to make positive changes in your life? Tune in to Be the Change, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, featuring our heartwarming radio host, Tiffany Lewis. She's an empath, an indigo, and has a new and uplifting message for you. Every week, Tiffany can be heard only on Clearsource Radio, where people inspire people, from our soul to yours. You can get the free app today at clearsourceradio.com. Visit Tiffany H. Lewis on Facebook for even more daily inspiration.